Hello and welcome back. I'm Christy, the voice behind Crafty Christy's Creations Silhouette Studio Tutorials, which is a subset of Crafty Christy's Creations how-to videos. This is the place to find step-by-step directions on how to do all the things in Silhouette Studio. Whether you're a beginner or needing a little refresher, this is the place for you. So grab your computer and open Silhouette Studio. It's time to dive into another episode.
Welcome back. Today I am going to show you how to make a puzzle. And as you can see here, I already have the designs I'm going to use on my mat. And now I'm going to walk you through the process of what we're going to do to set up. So I've pulled everything on here. Since this is going to be a printed piece that I'm going to put on top of my puzzle pieces, I'm going to go ahead and shrink my media size down to letter. And then I'm going to hit show print border. And then I'm also going to turn on my registration marks. I like to turn my registration marks all the way down so that way I can use the most amount of area on the paper as possible. So you can see here, this is my print border. And you also have to stay, you don't want to print where these are. And it's going to cut off kind of on the edge there. So that tells me I need to select everything. And I'm going to shrink this down a bit. Let's see. I think that'll be good. So now we're at 7.323 square. Okay, so there's 2 steps to doing this. I'm going to go ahead and print this. I'm printing it on sticker paper. And then I'm also going to, so I'll cut out the design on the sticker paper, and then I'm going to cut it out on chipboard to make it sturdier. So I'm going to go over here and open up the puzzle panel and then select puzzle area. And I am going to go ahead and select over all of my pieces here. And then you can adjust the size of your puzzle pieces here. If you go up with the amount of rows or down with the amount of rows. But I'm going to leave it right where it was. And then I actually need to make this a bit smaller. And let's make the fill of it nothing so we can see what we're doing. Oop, move the wrong piece. So I need to make sure that my puzzle pieces are still within these registration marks, so that way when I go to cut it, it will actually cut. Fortunately, this is kind of tedious. You know what? We may just get rid of these. Oops. We may just do this guy. And I have to be within this line here too. So we can actually go back here and hit show cut border. And that way you know for sure that you're inside those cut borders. And then I can stretch this right to those lines. That way there's no question. And then let's see if we can sneak these guys back in. Yeah. So there's two ways that I can do this. I can print this, and then since it's sticker paper, I can go ahead and stick it to my chipboard and then just adjust my settings to cut through both layers at once. Or I can cut them separately and then take each little piece of the sticker paper and put it on the correct puzzle piece and do it that way. I think I'm going to try the simpler one where I'm going to print this sheet and then adhere it. Well, no, I don't want to do that because I'm going to waste it. Never mind. So I'm going to do the two-step process because otherwise, if I print this entire paper and then attach this whole thing to my chipboard, I'm going to waste a lot of chipboard because I have to have the registration marks on it for it to read as to where to cut. So I am going to go ahead and do it in two separate pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and come over here to the print panel, and I am going to print this out, and then I will be right back and I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I've got this printed out and I'm going to go ahead and set it up to cut it out. This is just like your standard print and cut right now, other than I have the puzzle laid over it. So I'm going to come over to the sun panel. Again, this is my sticker paper. Actually, we're going to go to line color. And we're only going to cut the red, which would be the puzzle pieces. And then I'm using my sticker paper. Okay, so I've got it set how I need. I'm not going to use the offset just because I think this will be okay. I'm ready. I don't need to do a test cut because I know what the settings are that I need. So I'm going to go ahead and send this to my silhouette. Okay, now that I have this print and cut part done and I have the puzzle pieces cut out, now we're going to cut out the chipboard. So for that, I can come over here, turn off my registration marks, and then I'm going to pull the puzzle off for right now because I'm going to remove all the designs. We don't need those. And then I'm going to come over here and change my media to the 12 by 12. I don't need those to show. And now I'm going to place my puzzle right back on here. I did not change any of the size of my puzzle. That is all the same. And I'm actually going to scoot it over past the one because I need to do some test cutting. So now I know that I can do all my test cutting right here in this piece and not worry about having any damage done to my puzzle. So to cut this out, go to the sun panel. We can go simple on this one because there's only one color. I am cutting this out of chipboard and my ratchet blade settings, and then I'm again going to turn this off. Actually, I'm gonna keep it on there because they're recommending it, so I'm gonna leave it. I'm going to adjust my ratchet blade to 4 and then do a test cut. So let me check that blade. I have everything loaded on my machine. Now to do a test cut, I'm going to use these arrows, and I'm watching my machine as I press the arrows, and I'm bringing them over, and then I'm going to hit test. And it's doing the test cut, and it's also doing the overcut with the test as well. So I'm going to look at that. Normally, if I'm doing something specific, I want to check before I remove things from my mat. But because I know where this is going to be, even if I don't put the chipboard correctly back into the machine at the exact same spot I just had it, it's not a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and unload my chipboard, check those settings, and see if we need to make a change. All right, so that seemed to work perfectly. So I am going to go ahead and cut this out. And because this chipboard is pretty thin, I'm actually going to cut this out of 2 pieces and then make it a little bit thicker and more sturdy. And I will show you the rest of that process when we're done. But right now I'm going to hit the send button. Again, I'm going to do this on 2 separate pieces, and then I will show you the assembly. Okay, so I've got my 2 puzzles laid out, and then I've got this here. This is sticker paper. So I've got that ready. The first thing I'm gonna do is put these 2 pieces together, and I'm using a glue stick. This is Craft Bond Photo Stick by Elmer's. I think this is going to be the easiest thing to use. Feel free to use whatever kind of glue you have and just, figure out what works best for you. But this is what I'm going to use. I went ahead and put the pieces together. That way I can keep them so I know which pieces I'm using. So I'm just going to pull 1 piece at a time from each one. And I'm going to just put some glue on there. Grab the same piece. I'm going to line up the corners and try to line them up as best that you can. And then that looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that same piece from here. And again, I'm gonna line up my corners the best that I can. Pressure's on with this, putting this guy on. Might try to line this piece up. Okay, piece 1 done. So again, I'm going to take another piece and do the same thing. Grab my next puzzle sticker piece. And I think for these it is easier to line up the little knobs for the sticker, just because they need to be straight on or it's not going to work well. Really, even with 2 pieces here, you could probably really put a 3rd one on there to make it extra thick. You know, especially if you're going to be having like little kids play with this, you may want to add a few more layers to make it extra durable. So this is tedious work, as you can see. So you just do your best to line everything up. Not my best one. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward the video so you don't have to sit here and watch me struggle with all the pieces. So as I kept going, my hands were getting really sticky with the glue. So I decided to just do the stickers first and then go back and apply the second layer of chipboard. In hindsight, I think I would have maybe printed this on the chipboard since it's not that thick. Maybe it would go through the printer. Otherwise, I would stick the whole sticker sheet on the chipboard and cut it all at once. My perfectionism is not really liking the way that this puzzle turned out, but it's all in good fun.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this tutorial valuable. If you did, click like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future Silhouette Studio tutorials. If you are interested in purchasing the design used in this video, check out the link in the description below. Happy silhouetting! Until next time, with love, Crafty Christy.